Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Spicy Sunflower Tarot. Welcome to this summer solstice reading. Welcome to Cancer season. I hope that you had a really wonderful peak of the year. We had the most daylight that we'll ever have in the rest of the year. So I hope you enjoyed it and are enjoying it. And I'm going to start off with the Marchetti Tarot. We have a 4-card reading here today. And Pisces, I just would ask that you tune in to your intuition, your higher self, tune into whatever you subscribe to as far as benevolent source of love. I'm just going to put those back. We're just going to pull out 4 cards for you, Pisces. And summer orientation here for this reading, for the sign of Pisces. And I'm going to lay them out and then circle back and we'll talk. All right. So we start out with your summer focus. Focus for this summer. Excuse me. 7 of Cups. This is Scorpionic energy. It's your water cousin. This is options and choices. It can be fantasies and delusions. So we've got to be a little bit careful, Pisces, how we focus our attention emotionally this summer, for the rest of the summer. So as you're thinking like June, July, August, be really careful about your options and whatever you have before you. If it's relationships, if it's your job, if it is your children or your hobbies, whatever it is you're interested in, there's going to be options and choices, and sometimes it's fantasies and delusions. We have to be really careful what we're thinking about and dreaming about. And you're a dreamy, fantasy-oriented kind of sign. You have the ability to get lost in your imagination, and that is good. That's great, but it can also lead to trouble if you're not really careful. You are going to have a choice to make, but one of these 7 cups is going to have to be your choice. And so you're going to need to make sure that you understand what's in each one of those cups, because they all have something, but the one you choose is the one that you choose. So be careful. Be careful what you maybe try to turn it into something that it's not, and then what your gift is, where you really shine. Look at this beautiful crow holding this sword. This is, how they are they go and they find things like string and baskets, and they do little scavengering. They're scavengers and they find things and they steal it. For their nest or for their young or whatever. But in this card, this is Aquarius energy. There can be somebody taking something from you that you didn't realize. You trusted them and they are like in the night thinking they're being sneaky and they're taking something away. They're being deceitful. They are lying. They're cheating. They're stealing. They're backstabbing or betraying. 7 of Swords. This is where you really come alive, is seeing this, knowing that someone is capable of this. This is where you really come alive. You really shine. You see it for what it is. You probably even call it out and say, I know that's what you did. I know that's what you said, and I don't appreciate it. I think that your ability to call a spade is where you really shine. When 7 of Swords is there, it's almost like you can't not see it. And when you see it, other people see it, and it has to do with someone else's behavior. And I think you call it out, and that is where you really shine. Now, what you can release, what you can let go of is this is self-sufficient, independent, I can do it myself energy. Pisces, in this scenario specifically, that's not going to serve you. That ordinarily would really get you through life pretty well. But in this situation, because of the subject matter, because Seven of Cups, there's a lot of choices, there's a lot of emotional options, and there is some sneaky, snaky, someone trying to pull the wool over your eyes energy. Doing it on your own, I think you need to put that on the wayside. I think you need support right now. You need to go to your supervisor. You need to go to your husband or your wife. You need to get support from outside sources. Doing this on your own is what needs to be released right now. Your future is your energy. This is Page of Cups, water energy. It's a brand new beginning in an emotional area of your life. Something new is opening up for you in the future, and it is going to be an emotionally satisfying, emotionally interesting, emotionally, you're available for it. Page of Cups is your energy. You're open to a new possibility in your emotional. This is a new relationship. This is a new job where you're going to be emotionally open to whatever comes your way. It is also a communication, a conversation. The Page of Cups is usually seen holding this fish in their cup, and they're wanting to extend that to someone, or someone's going to be extending that to you. And that usually kind of indicates that there is a emotional conversation coming your way. Someone, maybe it's the Seven of Swords person, and they're saying, listen, I am really sorry. Someone is apologizing to you, or you're apologizing to them. Page of Cups. Let's grab out the Light Seer's Tarot and clarify. For the sign of Pisces, what is happening? They're not shuffling up, right? Let me try that again. For the sign of Pisces, thank you so much for being here. We're going to clarify all these cards. Let's find out, back to square one, that summer, focusing on your summer. Seven of Cups. Why is the Seven of Cups where Pisces energy should be focused for the summer? The Emperor. Because you need to take charge. Those 7 cups, you need to know what's in each and every single one of those. Before you have to make a decision, you need to know what's in every single one, so that you know which one has a snake, which one has poison, and which one has the flowers and the gold and all the good things. So the Emperor energy, you have to know what your options and choices are. You can't just have somebody come up and say, do you want to go here or here? What are my options and choices? I need to know what those choices and options are. Seven of Swords. Why is the Seven of Swords here for Pisces on where they really shine? And I think it's you calling that spade a spade. Why is Seven of Swords here? Yeah, the Empress. Look at that divine pair. The Empress is the divine feminine, and it is the mother energy, and it is, so maybe this is your child. Maybe that's where you really shine, is, you know, when your child or somebody under you, like maybe you're a supervisor, somebody under you, because you're kind of in this motherly role. They think they can get away with things, and they can't. You see it, you know what they're trying to do, and you really shine because you identify. You know, psychic energy is a part of all water signs. So Pisces, you included, having that intuition, having that psychic ability to see without having to see with your physical eyes. You can see things, you can feel it, you understand energy, And when someone thinks that they're just going to get away with something before your very eyes, nope. You are always watching and attentive and aware. And the Empress energy is like I said, that mother energy. Mothers are going to watch and be mindful and call you out and discipline you if they need to discipline you. I think it's interesting that there's like a mother and father energy, because the emperor is always kind of depicted as daddy or father energy, and then mother or mom. So this mother father energy, maybe you're working together with your partner or a male coworker, or if you're a male, your female coworker, and you two are really working well together, or somebody in their masculine feminine energy. Why is the 9 of coins what you should release? That is that independent, entrepreneurial, I can do it myself energy. Why is that what Pisces should release? Because you are not blind to what's going on. You can see, even though you have this blindfold, your hands are not bound. You're just tied up with your thoughts, but you're not incapacitated. You can take your blindfold off and you can see the situation, just like I said, you can see it. So don't try to handle it all by yourself. You aren't bad for not being like you're self-sufficient and independent, but sometimes you need to ask for help, and that doesn't mean that it invalidates your ability to be self-sufficient. So do what you need to do because of what you see. Now let's clarify the Page of Cups. Why is the Page of Cups here for the sign of Pisces? The Chariot. Now that's major arcana for the sign of Cancer, the season that we're in right now. So this is interesting because as you're moving towards the future, you are literally moving forward in your life. You are getting a new car, you are actually moving, or you're just moving ahead. Whatever kind of interesting scenario was happening, if this was at work or in your family life or personal friendship circle, you're just taking that emotional conversation and you're moving forward. We're not going to spend a lot of time circling around the drain with something. We're going to deal with it. We're going to have a conversation emotionally about it, and then we're going to just move forward. Pisces, this is your reading. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel. Spicy Sunflower Tarot can be found on TikTok and on YouTube. And your likes and your follows, your subscribes and your shares are very appreciated. Your comments too. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Be well.